practicing Piquan, there's a methodology called Xing Zhuang. Xing means to go, Zhuang means to hold a posture. In the Xing Zhuang method of practicing Piquan, you have 4 holding postures and 3 transitions between the holding postures. Once we put all of these 7 pieces together and hook up the energy dynamic from the beginning to the end, then we can just essentially have a more refined, more exacted type of practice. Very quickly, this idea from a Taoist alchemical point of view is that we're using this kind of Da Zhou Tian, the big energy field of the universe. We're calling in the energies of fire through the Lao Gong point and water through the Yong Quan points. These points, Lao Gong and Yong Quan, are generally speaking points on the body that are used to communicate the energies between the small energy field of the body and the big energy field outside. This is a way to connect them. So as you initiate Piquan, we have this movement which the hands are pulled towards the body. The fingers are winding in. Simultaneously, as you begin this movement, the toes are slightly grabbing the earth. These movements from a traditional cultivation point of view are ways in which to express the energies of the Lao Gong point, the fire points on the palm of the hands, and the water points at the sole of the feet. So as you begin this movement, we're drawing in, we're breathing in Qi, the fire, to the Guan Yin point. And we're also breathing the water up the legs to the Guan Yin point. And then we use the Dantian Hoshi, breathing into the back Dantian by rounding the lower back, opening the lumbar gate, and then moving that energy to the Du Mai as well. This is very important because we've just accessed these outside peripheral energies of fire and water, and now we're bringing them into the body and accessing the main energy channels of the system, the Ren Mai hormonal system and the Du Mai, kind of like related to the central nervous system. Following that movement, we turn the waist, which engages the Dai Mai, the belt meridian. The importance of engaging the belt meridian is in order to circulate the energy of the rest of the meridians in the body. At the beginning, we start with the innervation of the Ren Mai and the Du Mai, but those energies have to go into the rest of the meridian system, and that's accessed by turning the waist and engaging the Dai Mai. So this is very important to coordinate these fire and water energies to innervate the complete meridian system, and also to coordinate the energy between the upper basin and the lower basin. At the end of this Dai Mai engagement, we step forward. And as we step forward, the energy of the Ren Mai is going to drop down through the center line and prepare to move right down into the foot. As the Yang energy moves up the back through the Du Mai. So we have the energy rising up the back, falling down the front. Creating a stabilization process, because as you lift and drill the fist, as you Qi Zhuang, as you rise and rotate, with the fist. You want to drop the yin energy, the water energy, all the way back down to the Yongquan points, to the bubbling spring point. As the energy moves up to the Da Zui, the C7 point. So we have the energy dropping to the foot, rising to the C7, and preparing to launch. It's important to press that energy moving through the red mai, the water, through the Yongquan point, down into the earth to stabilize the body as the yang energy is pressing out and down. Luo fan, which means to drop and turn over. Another important aspect after we engage the Dai Mai and we step forward and turn out the inner aspect of the leg, we are simultaneously closing the front center line. This is referred to in Chinese medicine as yang mings, related to the stomach and large intestine. So we close and drop the energy. You can feel the organs bearing down, the peritoneal sac pushing down as you close the center. Why do you close the center? Obviously for protective reasons, to cut off the access to your vulnerable, soft ventral surface. As you do that, simultaneously the tai yang, the back, is expanding. It's like the hard shell, the protective shell of the back opening and expanding as the front closes. Simultaneously, we say that the side pivots. Shao yang pivots, yang ming closes, and tai yang opens. It's a open, pivot, close type of scenario from. So we close the center, close the ventral surface, open the tai yang, open the back. Now we're getting ready for this next movement. As I step forward, I'm pressing into the earth, pushing off of the earth, and using my P formation to cast forward. This, if you're interested in Chinese medicine, you could say is the Shaoyin pivot. Shaoyin pivot is essentially where you have a pivot wherein the fire and water are split into separate units. In this case, the water drops down and the fire goes up the back. The water goes down the front, the fire comes up the back. This is also innervating past the spinal cord itself right into the brain. It's a very important aspect in terms of washing the marrow, so to speak, when you use this type of cultivation method. So essentially, the bigger idea is that we're drawing the fire and water in, you could say, from the outside, from the Dazhou Tian, and bringing that in and innervating that into the Shaozhou Tian, the small energy field of the body. Those energies then combine with the major collaterals of the human body, the so-called Ren and Du Mas. They are actually the kind of yin and yang power station of the body. And when we're talking about cultivation, it's a must to turn these channels. At the very end of P, we can use this very snappy ending to P, where we throw the energy out and we cut it off, we let it go. If you're using a martial arts type of practice, this is what you want to do. You want to let the energy go out, let the momentum continue to go out. In practicing long life, however, we're using this long extended looping type of extension of P. This is like casting a fishing pole and then waiting for the rebound to come back. This creates a very long spinal wave. This is because from the cultivation point of view, we're going to begin the next round of circulation on the other side, such that Piquan just becomes a matter of calling in the fire and water from the atmosphere, combining it with the central chi circulation of the body, and revolving that, circulating that. Make these energies in the main channels, the Ren and Du mind, more robust. If they're more robust, then that energy will also lend itself to filling up the other 12 smaller meridians that innervate the entire body. That's the protocol for long life and the Taoist alchemy point of view of practicing Piquan. This is the first posture. Lengthen the spine, pull in the chin, tuck under the sacrum, and engage the Dai Mai by turning the waist. Second posture. Allow this movement to stretch the spine, stretch the body from the tip of the toes to the very edge of the fist. This is a very good posture for lengthening and strengthening. Try to hold these postures for 9 breaths. Come up, rest on the one foot, and let the toes of the other leg touch down to help with the balance. Third posture. Shan Qi Shi is the fourth posture.